What is a scam? What is scamming people? Hi, everybody. How are you? I am LJ, and the past days have been very challenging in terms of investment especially since the past couple of weeks, like I think 2 weeks or 10 days ago, Petronpay changed the payment schedule and now has decided to pay people twice a month, on the 1st and on the 15th. So before I start today's videos, I wanted to come back a little bit about the history and what happened with Petronpay. I have invested in Petronpay. I had a barrel of $999. And since the company decided to reschedule the payment time, like to reschedule their payment procedures, I decided not to refer anyone, and I made a public announcement about that. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people came at me, some with compliment, other with very strong language and harsh words to voice their anger or their various emotions they were going through, good or bad. And I had to take that all on, and I had to understand that all. I just want to tell those people that have, maybe some of those that have been disrespectful to me, or have behaved in a way that I can consider disrespectful. I don't hold any grudges. I don't hold grudges to people. I value differences of opinion. And I just want to tell those people that the world is made of varieties. We cannot always agree on everything. But although we cannot agree, we can at least respect each other and speak to one another respectfully. I think I am in a business of relationship. Relationship for me comes before money. When someone comes to me to join, I see the person first before I see the person that is able to purchase a package, a barrel. If you want to use a Petronpay language. So it was a little bit of a shock to me at some times, but then I try to understand. And another way of understanding that, it's maybe I was being some people's punching bags, and that's totally fine. That's okay for me. If they were able to vent their emotions like that, okay. But I also want to tell people that it's difficult to expect uniformity of opinions. The world is made of variety. Look at my hands. All my 5 fingers do not even have the same size. Some people have one member that is bigger than the other ones. Look around you. Look around. Look at the number of trees, of birds, of the world. We're surrounded by variety. So it's very, very difficult for people to agree on everything all the time. But as human beings, we can all agree to disagree agreeably. We can still be kind, considerate to one another, even if we have differences of opinion. We do not have to think the same way. And I think it's unwise to hate someone or to be nasty or disrespectful to someone that do not share your opinion. We need to, I think, I'm part of those that think that we need to revolutionize the network marketing business, yes, because it's becoming hard to be in business with people if they do not agree with us. We need to rethink our ways of being. But the good news is, if we all decide, okay, we're going to put people first, one person at a time, and if I treat you well, instead of coming back and telling me, oh, LJ, I am very grateful for what you did to me, I'll just tell you, go and do that to someone else. You just be nice to someone else. People have various leadership types. People have different ways of doing their things. One example that people take is like, you have this food, you have a meal that people like, let's say chicken salad. People find 10,000 ways of making the same chicken salad. And it's going to be odd, and people are going to laugh at you if you come and say your way of making chicken salad is just the best way, that everybody that do not follow that way should be fired or shot. This is insane. But that's how life is. It's like, that's how things go. This is how the human nature is, and we just have to deal with that, okay? Actually, today I wanted to tell you about something. A lot of people mention the word scam. This business is a scam. This is a Ponzi scheme. This is this. This is that. What is a Ponzi scheme? What is a scam? A scam for whom? From when? Why? I just want today to start a conversation. I never tell you what to do or what not to do. I always share an opinion. I merely give prompters to people to go and research some things a little deeper, to take my questionings a step further and use that to develop their own opinion. So today I'm going to give you some ideas about what a Ponzi scheme is called. And by the way, a lot of people have also come to me and asked me to tell them alternatives, ways, places where they can invest their money. And there's what they call platforms. Like, most of all those platforms operate the same way. You have platforms like, two that comes to mind that are very, very similar are Petronpay and GreenGold. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about GreenGold, but after I speak about GreenGold, I'm going to give you some of the elements, some of the characteristics that you can use to decide whether or not to get involved in something. So it's always good to know the nitty-gritty, to know the extent of how something works before you get involved in there. This is what it calls, those are the principle of informed decision, meaning that before you decide to do something or not to do something, you're somewhat aware of the gains, of the losses, of the risk and challenges that come with this. And all the information that you gather help you to know more about that. And then, based on your knowledge and your understanding, decide what to do. No one can tell you what to do. I am never telling people what to do. I tell you what I do maybe, but I give prompters, ideas to develop, to go and find out, to go and narrow your research.
So you should be aware as you invest online to check on some criteria before you put your money anywhere. The high yield investment programs or hypes can be avoided. Like, some of the signs that you need to check include, like, they promise high return. Like, most stocks, I think I mentioned that earlier, many of the stock give like 10% for a year. But then those people give you high yield, like in a short period of time. Sometimes it's not clear what are the main investment or the main tools, or even the concrete explanation of what the business really is. You have a hard time understanding what they do, how they invest your money, or it's difficult to verify the information that they share on the platform. Many of those sometimes are not located in a specific country. They might operate in various locations, but the location is not always clear. This is also something you need to pay attention to. You need to be able to verify a physical location, an office. You need to call a number. You need to find the address and check the actual building of where that company sits. The payment of referral, sometimes they have a very good compensation plan depending on the number of people it can bring to the platform. Some of those go up to 25%. Something also, it's you'll see in their page, you'll see a page with a lot of errors, like typos, like grammar, or like, the spelling is not good at all. Sometimes when they have pages in a different language, the translation is just literal translation. Sometimes like word-to-word translation with no real substance that you would expect to a site that claimed to be speaking a language. So those are some of the things you want to look at as you invest. So in this video, I'm going to show you some of the hypes rules that you need to consider as you move on. I am not sure if you can see, but the information comes from a site called investorsprotect.com. The name is up here. You can check them out. They're right here. Investorprotect.com. This is where I got the info. So the first thing they say, always remember that there is no safe hypes, hence no guarantees whatsoever. So when you start, you know how they operate, you know how things go, you know that you don't have any clear info about some of the characteristics of a true and normal company. This is the highest form of investment, investment that is risky. It is just so risky that you don't expect anything. It's I will say equal or even worse than the lottery when you decide to come here, but yet, people might be interested. So none of them is safe. There's no guarantee whatsoever. So they all have affiliate program. No one can predict how long any of those companies will last. You just can't predict. Now, you need to know that the older it gets, the riskier it becomes. So usually, since it cannot last for a very, very long time, at some point they're going to change. Usually those companies start to change the investment model, and the people that suffer are the newcomers. So no one can predict how long it's going to last. No one knows. So what the site also says is that the more famous the program, the riskier it becomes. So the more people know about it, the more people are becoming aware of the investment or the gains that the older, like the first comers are receiving, and the more people are publicizing it, the company becomes more famous and riskier, as they say. And I can echo that. So as you go there, it's risky. And they also add that it's always better to join programs when they are 1 to 3 days old, especially if the daily rates is around the 7%. Well, if you have something that is giving you 7%, this is like a bad sign. You just have to run away. They're not going to pay consistently. So this is a very, very risky thing to be doing. And yeah, so the higher the return they give you, the higher the sooner they're going to close, because they cannot put a lot of people at that rate. And sometimes they say, okay, the program could last 1 to 3 days. Join when it's early, right? Like 1 to 3 days old. We know that companies like GreenGold has been in operation for about 6 months, and Petronpay almost a year and a half. Those companies, those companies are there, but then 1 to 2 days, like if you can join, like people that have joined PetronPay on the very first, on the very, or like earlier in the process, are the one making the most money today. So they say to avoid the site that have the word hours in their website, and do not trust hypes that offer hourly rates, and like promising 100 to 200 by the hour or even after 1 day. These are all lies. So yeah, so when someone promises you to have a highest return, the risk is just unbearable. Do not trust them with what they're saying. Do not go for after plans. So what they're saying is that sometimes they'll promise you higher rates of return and you just want to follow the money. But then they'll also encourage a lot of people to come and invest big amounts of money there, and once you put your money, it's locked. You cannot take that out, and they block any possibility to withdraw. So yeah, also like the rule of investment is diversification. Like, diversify your portfolio. Don't put all your investment in one platform. Trying to have various platform possible, especially those that have started at different times, so that when one falls, you can catch up with the other. So this is also something that people are doing. They try and invest in various platforms depending on the time frame, knowing that they have like limited time to be in operation. So if they can multiply the number of platforms they're in and try to get there as soon as possible, try to diversify and get people to join, so that they can get their return on investment quite fast, and then start cashing out the profit. My point here is just that be truthful to the people and tell them the system, tell them how it works. It's not good to fool people into something that you know is not going to last for a long time. So, what is a scam? So we've seen some of the characteristic of what is considered a scam. We've also seen some of the sign that will help describe an investment opportunity as a scam. We've seen where those could operate. My personal understanding is that the definition of a scam is also related to the person who speaks. Scam for who? Why? When? How? If the person does not pay attention to a particular aspect of a business, I don't think the person is going to even care about all the caveat and the warnings that are being expressed. If this was the case, scams and Ponzi scheme model would not have been in operation since the 1900. So they've been there for over 100 years, like 121 years, and they're still operating. If you can be scammed, it means that this thing is going to go on. People love this kinds of things. People love the lottery. There are people that have been playing the lottery for, I don't even know how many years, for a long time. They've never won anything. They even gambled and risked their family livelihood in the lottery and ended up losing everything. So I think the definition or the decision is for everyone to consider. I've told you that I worked in development for over 18 years, and I'm still involved in development activities. What I mean by development is working with companies, NGOs, organizations, institutions, multilateral development banks, and doing works in communities, building like small and heavy infrastructures like roads, airports, dams, hydroelectric dams.
But the thing is, what struck me is that despite the millions and billions of dollars that we spend there, the small people are usually poor. And my claim is that why don't we decentralize everything and start from the ground up at the grassroots level and let people develop themselves, find ways to improve their living? I am very happy. My investment at Petronpay did not yield me as much return as those that make like $5,000 a week. I do not make that much. No. But when I see people in some of those developing countries making that huge amount of money, I am happy for them. Like from a small investment, I mean, I've seen someone that went from a $25 investment and was able to purchase a car worth $25,000. Even people here in America cannot afford this kind of car. And that thing, I don't know if they pay cash or not, but this is a lot of money. And this is a heck of a return from a $25 investment. This is insane. But this is this is the average population in those countries. People that may not even be able to get into the highest sphere of decision making. They're not in the government. They're just average citizens. And this is my claim. We need to start. I mean, development for me should be bottom up, not top down. But then the scheme we have now is more of a top down thing that everybody's decided somewhere above there. And it's true that the public infrastructure benefits everybody, benefits a larger amount of population. But if that was the case, then you don't have like the many countries relying on remittances to take care of their population. So my claim is, and I'm very proud of those youths. Like the average age, like when I've interacted with about 100 of them. They're younger. They're in their 30s on average. I've seen some 17 years old, but they're like very rarely. But they're usually in the 30, 33 years old. And they're already millionaires in those contexts. And I'm proud of them. If we could start, like, yes, let's call it scam or whatever. If we can start and do it a little bit to Petronpay or GreenGold, I'm going to leave the link in the description. Feel free to use the link, but you know my philosophy. I cannot guarantee you that this thing is going to last for a long time. So as you use the link to develop, this is a short-term thing. My suggestion is that you use that to maybe make some small cash, hoping it's going to last like a couple of months, and you take that money to do like transform it. Consider the cycle of money, and with those online platform, what you want to do is make money in digital money. Take that out, maybe put it in a bank, or transform it in some sort of good that can gain in value, like a plot of land or an investment. You need to get the money moving. You don't want the money to stay static. Or find a way, something that worked for you. But if you can strategically invest in those short-term platforms, although you cannot verify where it sits, you cannot verify the CEO, you cannot verify the location, you cannot verify many things. But still, as long as they can pay you, why don't just take advantage of it for the short amount of time that you're out there? Think about it. But the decision is yours. I'm not asking you to do something. I'm just sharing some ways of thinking. You might not agree. You might agree. But the decision is yours. It could be Petronpay, it could be GreenGold, it could be like, I heard about Crowd One, I heard about various things. I just wish you the best, but then be able to strategically take a move once you see that it starts to collapse. Do not invest a lot of money there, because the losses could be also huge as you decide to get more involved there. The last thing is, We need to stay out of the emotion. Let's take the emotion out of the business. Business is business. Let's treat the business with our mind, rationality, and just take emotion out of this. Build relationship, build people, tell them the truth, be honest, develop loyalty, integrity, respect to each other, even if the person is not there. You know, talking bad about someone is not making you look good at all. We need to learn those small principles and revolutionize the network marketing opportunity and stopping the habits of trying to get rich through people, but then building people so that we can all together get rich together, or have ways of supporting each other in a certain way. This is what I stand for. And I encourage you to develop your own way of thinking, develop your own philosophy.
Expertise in planting trees and deforested areas, GreenGold has become the largest reference in forestry assets and sale of carbon credit in the world. In addition to expanding its operations, achieving the same success as countries like Finland, Poland, and Venezuela, and with the partnership of the main world powers, GreenGold now wants to conquer the rest of the market. The time has come to contribute to the balance of the ecosystem and become a successful eco-entrepreneur. Before choosing your initial plan and assembling your work team, know that GreenGold operates only with trees already planted in its stalks. Make a unique offer of your products to eco-entrepreneurs. It does not offer warranty for its products since they depend on laws and climatic conditions. Choose your plan and start investing in forest assets and contribute to the nature right now.